How's it going, guys? So I got the winners of the last giveaway of the 50 item lots. We had two winners, Steez Resells and Godinez Track and Field Team. They're right here. I already sent them a comment so they can email me if you guys are seeing this. If you guys want, email me. I'm gonna get you guys the shipping address. I'm gonna give them to you. In this video, we are doing another giveaway. We're gonna be doing 4 25 item lots so that more people can win, and it's the same amount of items that we're gonna give away. So comment down below 3 eagle emojis to be entered to win, and drop a like. The winner will be announced at next Wednesday's episode, and we're probably gonna be doing this every single time. So yeah, guys, drop a like and all that stuff, and we're gonna get into the podcast. All right, guys, welcome to the Lowball Kings podcast, episode 4. We are doing this episode on a Saturday because Collin is going to Disneyland with the missus on Monday and Tuesday, so we're making sure we get this knocked out. So, yeah, guys, and that goes with having a schedule and making time for the eBay listings and all that stuff so that we can still have a life outside of this. So today's video is actually 6 ways to 10x your eBay store, your eBay business, and we have a list of 6 things that you guys can do to do that. So the first thing is going to be account health, and we're going to be running down on how Collin runs his account health and how I do it. So Collin, how do you do your account health? What's your process when it comes to that?
All right, so my account health is the same exact thing every single day. I go into my computer as soon as I get to the warehouse. I go into my computer, I go through all my messages, get those knocked out. That way, if somebody has an issue with their order, something like that, we could cancel the order or get to that before they leave a feedback or before we ship it out. So that is prioritized messages. Once we get through those, I check all my returns because those are on a time limit. Your returns, you only have a certain amount of time to handle them. So I get to my returns. I make sure that if there's a return delivered, I make sure that I go check the package and I make sure that I refund it if it's, if they return the right item in the right condition. And then once I do that, I also accept all the return requests because usually I don't ever decline one, or I don't just let it sit there, because when you let it sit, or when you don't refund the buyer in time, you're going to get a defect. You know that. And once you get too many, that's been the main way I've been shut down in the past, is there'll be like a return and I'll be like, this guy's probably he's probably trying to return the wrong item, so I'm going to wait and make sure that it's the right one, But a lot of times when that happens, sometimes I'll miss out. A couple of days will go by, bam, defect. And if you do that on a few, then bam, you can get shut down. You get a restriction, or you can go below standard. So I prioritize that. So messages, returns, and then about once a week I'll go into my it's a tab that says requests and disputes. Sometimes people they'll put they didn't get their item, or it's the wrong one, or it'll say if they open like a chargeback on their bank. So I go in there and I'll update the tracking and all that, knock out that, and that's pretty much it for account health. But it's mainly just about doing it every single day and not missing more than 2 days, because once you miss more than 2 days, something could happen.
Yeah. And I usually, my problem would be when I didn't do that every day, and even Saturday and Sunday, that's enough time to let some stuff pile on, and then it's Monday, and then you don't check the returns and disputes, and then it's Tuesday, and then that's when you get a fucking defect. So, but my thing is the same thing. As soon as I wake up, knock on messages. I knock on messages throughout the whole day. I like using my phone too. The most I'll ever let stack on is about 7 messages. Knock those out. Right now I had 3 before we started this. Knock those out. Why let them stack up? Me personally.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing lately, so that I'm just on it. But right now, I'm just really focused. Sometimes I'm not always focused. So as long as, for the most part, you're knocking them out, that's what really matters. Because sometimes I'm extremely in tune. I'm sending offers as soon as I get the chance to send offers. Sometimes I'm replying to messages as soon as they hit. And sometimes I don't look at my fucking eBay app for 12 hours.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're on it and sometimes you're not. But as long as, for the most part, you are doing what has to be done, that's what really matters.
Yeah. Remember when I first made my eBay store, I put on my description for all my listings, I put, if you have any questions about this item, please send a message. I usually respond within 1 to 2 minutes.
I remember once we started getting bigger, Collin's description still said I'll reply within 1 to 2 minutes, and I was like, nah, there's no way this guy's still doing that.
Yeah. So I was back in those days. I was checking as soon as I saw an eBay notification. I check it, reply to it right there. But then once we started doing like more than 50 items a day, then at that point that wasn't even realistic. And nowadays I usually do answer my messages like just in the morning. And if I have extra time in the day, I'll do it maybe like once or twice before I clock out. Yeah. So maybe 1, 2, 3 times max. But usually it's once or twice. Yeah. But back then I had no idea on like what was realistic,
Yeah. Now that we have a lot, it's not realistic now.
Yeah. Now I'm more comfortable just doing once or twice a day. Back then it was like that was just too much pressure. If I'm like doing something a day and I gotta, you can't be. It's just not realistic.
Yeah. Sometimes you are on it. Sometimes you get a message, you just click on it. But sometimes they'll stack on there for 12 hours. And just
But the main takeaway from that is that you got to do it at least every day.
Minimum.
Yeah, because you want to think of it
once
as
or twice a day, knock them all out.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to keep up on all that because eBay, you want to think of it from eBay's perspective. They're spending millions on sending people customers. And so customers will arrive to you in forms of offers, messages. And so when you don't reply to those in time, if someone sends you a message about an item or an offer on an item and you don't reply to it till more than a day, that customer probably has already found another item by then. Yeah. So by you not taking advantage and replying in a timely manner, that's saying to eBay, all right, we're sending this guy traffic, but he's not getting to it in time. Let's send it to the next guy who's on it. Yeah. So that's one way right there where you can get more sales without having to do much, but just be more consistent.
Someone can ask you a question about an item, and you can, if you reply within 10 minutes, they're more likely to, let's say does this come with this? And you're like, oh yeah, it does come with that. If you take 12 hours to reply, they're more likely to buy the one that replies within 10 minutes rather than the one that takes 12 hours. Because what if they needed that? I'm impulsive when I'm trying to buy something. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, it comes with that cable. If it doesn't come with that, I don't want to buy it. But whichever one, I send it to 2-3 people that have the same item. Whichever one replies first is probably going to get the sale. Yeah. So it works like that. So when you go to a store and you ask for help, you want to get attended right away. Not when it's too late. Because they'll just go with whoever helps out first.
Yeah, honestly, it just comes down to account health. Really, just comes down to thinking about what eBay and what the buyer wants, and that's basically they want you to be there present. Like, you don't.
It's customer service.
Yeah.
So that's account health. That's how we handle it. And now the next thing is going to be sourcing. That's a huge part of it too. All these things that we're telling you are pretty much necessary in order to be successful on eBay. And number 1 was account health. Number 2 is sourcing. If you don't have items to sell, how can you make money? So, Collin, what's your sourcing for the week looking like? How many times are you sourcing? Are you sourcing maybe less than once a week? What are you doing?
I am sourcing probably once to twice per week. When it probably takes me a good, I'd say 14 hours out of the week. Probably like a good 2 7-hour shifts doing sourcing.
Just straight sourcing.
And I like doing it that way because back in the day I was going every single day. But I like doing it that way, pulling in all my items in just a set amount of time. That way I can focus on listing them. Once I'm done with sourcing for those days, then the next day is just focused on listing, focused on processing, shipping. And those days where I'm sourcing, it's just strictly sourcing. So my focus is lasered on to what I'm doing. I like that. I like that better. That's what has been working for me.
Yeah. And because we get items in bulk, so it's not like because it took us 3 years to get to the point where now we can buy them in bulk, but back in the day it used to be like an everyday thing because we didn't have that option, but now we do. We could be sourcing every single day, but now we have the option to buy in bulk, so that's what we do now. But yeah, I source twice a week. Usually Wednesday mornings, I'm sourcing. I have my people, and then it's either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I kind of pick within those days. If I go Friday, I probably get the cream of the crop on some stuff, but sometimes I can just wait till Sunday and I still get that cream of the crop because the stuff I get, no one else wants.
Yeah.
Like the bigger stuff that I've been selling lately, no one wants that shit. So if I wait, like it's gonna be mine regardless, and I probably get it at a discount. So it's, you know, sometimes stuff that's really good sells on the Fridays, and I can go get it, but I'm gonna pay a premium because it's newer stuff for them. But if I wait till Sunday, I'm gonna get it really cheap, and I'm be able to get a lot more stuff because they're at that point. The person I deal with took it to the flea market Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. On Sunday,
so they're just trying to gut it out.
They're trying to gut it out, and that's when I come in and I usually, you know, fill up my truck. So
gotcha.
So I'm sourcing twice a week.
So on those days, are you listing too, or?
Yeah, so I'll source first thing in the morning. I'm back to the warehouse by 11. Those days, my gym changes as well because I'm not waking up and just going to hit the gym. I'm sourcing. I'm at the flea market by like 7:30. I'm back by like 11 because it is quite a bit of drive. And then my worker gets here at, actually I get back by like 10:30. My worker comes in an hour earlier because he normally comes in at 11:30. And as soon as he gets here, he's either working on the items that we already had. If we were ran dry on items, then he's working on the ones I'm bringing in. And usually when he gets here, the day I recorded a day in the life video, I showed how I came and I just told him to do something else. Meanwhile, pulling out items for shipping. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I get stuff prepped for him to list because we had ran dry on items.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was pretty much it. I get back at 10:30, work for 5 hours, 6 hours, and then I hit the gym after. But normally I hit the gym as soon as I wake up. But yeah, when I source, it's different. Tomorrow, Sunday, my worker doesn't come in. And tomorrow I'm just going to take a stroll at the flea market and get my items, come drop them off, and I'm done watching football.
Okay.
That's how I do it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think from the beginning, sourcing is where we truly make the money. So I've always tried to set up my system so that the main thing I focus on is sourcing. Because if I could source every single day, then that's how I'd make the most money if I was just focused on getting deals every single day. But clearly I can't do that because I got to manage things at the factory.
Yeah.
So, like, right now, if I were to get, like, Alex, my most trustworthy worker, if I were to be able to have him do some of the things that I do at the factory, and I could just go source while he's doing those things that I need to do at the factory, then I could probably bring in an extra, 10, 15,000 a month just by that extra sourcing time if he was able to handle that. Which that'd be the next step if I could teach him how to do some of the things that have to do with filtering out the items.
Yeah.
Because
that just takes time. That's just shit that we know.
Yeah.
For you to trust him on what's pre-owned, what's for parts, testing, and it's gonna take time in order for you to trust him. But if you can get to the point where you trust him and he does a good job, that's gonna bring in a lot of extra money for sure.
Yeah. I might need another worker to get to that point, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
See what happens. So that was number 2, sourcing. Number 3 is listing. So Collin and I have a completely different listing process when it comes to eBay. We used to have the same one, but I switched up. I pivoted. I'll explain why I changed. But I'm gonna let Collin say what your listing process is when it comes to once you get the items.
Okay, so once I have the items, so basically I'll have them. Certain items, they get tested as I picture them, and certain ones are tested and separated before I even picture them. So we'll just talk about the scenario where I have them already organized as for used or for parts before I picture them. So basically how I used to do it back in the day was I would have the item in front of me. I'd have my items. Let's say these are all going to be for use. They've all tested to be working. I'd look at the item. I'd look up the model number, look up the name, find it on eBay. I'd find the one that is the most similar to mine, copy the listing, take my pictures right there, adjust the description, adjust the price to what is most accurate to mine, and then I'd list it, put it away. But now, what I decided to do so the reason that I decided to change my method was so that I could hire somebody, because for me, it'd just be easier to teach somebody how to take a picture of an item rather than listing an item, because listing requires that they're going to put the right price, the right description, they're going to get the right model, and I'd rather have the same person doing that rather than passing it on to like a different worker that I might have. So basically what I do is me and probably another guy at the same time we'll take our items, take pictures, put them away. Then once we have the pictures, we have those in files. I'll organize them by SKU. So I'll have albums, and each album will be a SKU number.
Box.
Yeah, it'll be a box number, and then so each SKU number, each album will get transferred over to Google Drive, and then the Google Drive will generate a link off that. I'll send it over to my VA, virtual assistant, and what my VA will do is he'll take the pictures and turn them into listings. And on the end of each item, there'll be like a little note about any condition and all that. So he'll insert all that in the description. And then so that's basically it. And then once he does that, then I'll look at all the listings as drafts, and I'll make sure that the price is all right, make sure that everything looks okay, and then I'll list them on eBay. And so I like this method because the whole process is broken down so that
everyone has their own individual job.
Everyone has their own individual job, so they can focus on doing it better. If I had my worker doing listings, I'm pretty sure like his pictures wouldn't be up to par, and I think that he would make more mistakes on the listings than what my lister does.
Yeah.
Because my lister only has to do the same thing over and over again, so he should be decent at it. And my picture taker only has to do the same thing over and over again, which is take a picture. So they should both be decent at their job.
Yeah.
Whereas if I just had the picture taker doing the listings, I think that the job wouldn't be as great, and also I wouldn't be able to do the thing where I send it over to my VA and then I can review all the listings. I wouldn't be able to do that because I guess I could do it. But at this point, I'm so used to doing it that yeah, it's what I like. And a lot of times I get new workers, so I probably wouldn't trust them with the whole listing process with my items.
So I used to do it where I just had an in-house employee back in the day. I was the first one to say fuck it on an employee member.
Yeah.
I had this one girl, her name was Brooke. She was really good. Took pictures.
Wait, didn't you have an employee in the garage?
Amina.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was my first time ever. Yeah, that's crazy. Damn. Dude, that garage is not set up for no damn employee.
Yeah.
Because it was me and you sharing the garage, and then she was coming to help. But yeah, it would just be showing them how to list an item and how to price it properly. And I feel like once they know that, they can go from there. And if they have trouble with something, they just ask me right then and there. Like, hey, actually, I don't know about this one.
Yeah.
But that's how I did it for a while, and that switching to the way you did it, it's a good option too. But since right now I'm doing more of a 30-40 thing, I don't need that much manpower in order to list 50-60. And right now the guy I have, I trust him. I feel like I'm a good teacher when it comes to saying, okay, I want this, I want that, and they get the task. They know what to do within the first day. I'm good at teaching.
Yeah.
Like in person, so they get what every single person I've had like 6 people. Every single person that's come in the first day, by the end of the day they know exactly what they have to do forever.
Yeah.
And they usually never mess up.
Yeah.
In my experience. Yeah. So maybe that's just because I could do that, and I like it too, just having them here. And if there's a problem, they let me know right away. And with the VA that we had, I just felt like there was certain things that these people wouldn't mess up on, like it's a blue iPhone and they'll put white.
Yeah.
They do that often.
Yeah.
And then also recently I found I think like 80 big items that are like $100 and up that weren't listed, that were a mistake from him.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money because 80 items, that's damn near what I'm listing right now in a day and a half. And $100, you do the math. So, and who knows what else is listed in there. The other day I found a trimmer that I sent over to him a while ago, and it wasn't even listed anymore. I found 3 boxes of, I did the math because we listed them. Those 3 boxes weren't listed at all. They weren't on eBay, the whole thing. So that means the folder got lost, something. Obviously I don't use them anymore, so I don't want to ask them, but I just knew they weren't listed anymore. We relisted them. It's $5,400 worth of product that was never listed in 3 boxes, and that's just what I saw recently.
Yeah.
So that's shit that I found that I personally didn't like. That's just me. I want to maximize the stuff that I already paid for and get the money that I already was supposed to make.
Gotcha.
So when I'm having the in-house people, I've never had an issue with anything at all. So
yeah, no, that is an issue for sure. Is that little glitches can happen and mistakes can happen because
because they're in a different country.
Yeah,
and like it's not like
the files are getting sent around. There's more steps. There's more potential chances for something to go wrong.
Yeah,
that's true. But
when you're sending 14 files a day, like something's gonna happen.
Yeah, lately I've been checking each one. I go through each one and I make sure everything is correct.
Yeah.
That way, if something does happen, I'm not responsible. I'm gonna tell him about it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter who's responsible. It's about making the most money too. But I just remembered another reason that I never really wanted to have my workers doing the listings is because I know that like if I'm working in the corner on shipping or something and my worker's there, I trust my worker. But like if he's posting an item and it's like a tiny item and it's like he sees it's like 600, he's gonna see that while he's listing it and he's gonna start to learn about the items. So that's one reason why I was like, I'll just keep it to pictures because they don't got to deal with like the pricing and all that.
Yeah.
Because that is tempting, That's tempting when they see that.
Yeah, but they've also seen when they're shipping, your worker ships every single day and he sees how much they sell for.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's the same thing. It's just about trust over time.
That's true.
Because they're going to see, and that goes with any business, like. But the thing is too, like the workers, it's like saying McDonald's, they have the cashier or the manager. They're seeing millions of dollars come in per month. They're not gonna want to go and open up their own McDonald's either way.
Oh yeah.
So
it's more about because a lot of my pictures now are taken by like my newer worker, and I don't know him that well. So, but my other worker that does the shipping, I know him pretty well at this point. I know him better than my new worker, and if my newer worker were to see some of the prices, I don't know what he would do. So that's why. Yeah. I mean, some stuff's only $10, but some stuff could be up to $500 to $1,000. You never know.
And that goes with reading people.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I can just read people really good. I'm like, I know my boundaries of what I could do with them. This new kid, he just looks like an innocent kid. I'm not gonna be stupid and oblivious to something that could possibly happen. But I got cameras. Yeah. And I'll be like, hey man, I'm gonna go. I think it's good when you first get someone to like leave. Like I've been leaving a little bit, and I'll just be checking and like, okay, he's just straight fucking working. Unless they give me a reason to not trust him, I'm not gonna trust him.
Yeah.
So
I try to buy.
I think it's better to give them a bait in the beginning, see what they do, to know they can catch them, and then that's how you know. If you give them 10 baits in a month and nothing happens, it's like, okay, this guy's for real.
Yeah, I've thought about that too.
I'd rather catch him doing something rather than never give him the chance to fuck up. I'd rather give him the chance to fuck up,
How would you give him a bait?
I guess just leaving him alone and see if anything's missing.
Okay.
There's a camera right there.
Put a couple items you remember in there that are good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But he's never done that, and I feel like he's a good kid, so...
Yeah, that's one reason why I'm extra nice to my workers is just because
so they don't fuck you over.
I want to buy their goodwill,
Yeah.
So that it's hard. I feel like there are really shitty humans out there, but like if someone is genuinely trying to see you do better in life and help you out whenever you ask for it, and do I try to do above and beyond for my workers when it comes to them asking for certain things, especially like showing them how to sell on eBay certain things. So I hope that in a way I'm buying the goodwill so that
goes with that goes with that book that I made a video about on the real cheat code to eBay, which is just being a good person. Like this kid, he's trying to do eBay too, and I actually did a video on how he got banned. But I'm super nice. Like I give him stuff. Like I sold him a laptop for extremely cheap. Like today I gave him this painting. I'm like, hey, do you want it, bro? Just shit like that. You do the same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm helping him get his account back.
Yeah.
Just shit like that.
Yeah.
Just be nice, bro.
It'd be hard to take and steal and do someone dirty that's doing that for you.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
So, but I feel like for sure, it just depends how you want to do eBay. So we were talking about listings, so we don't go on a tangent. It just depends how you want to do it. You like how you do it that way, and I like how I do it this way. And if I were to add one more person in terms of money, he can list 60 to 65 a day easy. If I get one more person, they can list 65 to 60 a day easy. And in terms of production a day and how much is spent an hour, it'd be about the same thing. It's really the same thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing an experiment soon. I'm gonna try to do 1 week my way and 1 week, more like your way, kind of like the older way. Just no VA in the process. I just want to see I just want to see exactly what is the difference for me.
Yeah.
What can I do better on? Because, if you're sending 500 items a week to a VA, that's $500. So if I could save on that, that's $2,000 a month. That's my rent.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thing, where you're already paying someone to photograph the item, and let's say if you're sending 200 or how many 500, and you're listing 7 days a week. How much is that? Because I don't know how to do math or read or write. So
500. Let's just say I'm doing 5 days a week. That's 100 a day.
100 a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But consistent.
Yeah.
For the most part.
No, yeah, you can't go wrong. That was one thing. I was able to do it 180 a day when I was using that guy. Yeah. I can't do 180 a day. I don't want,
Yeah.
But I was also spending like 1,800.
Yeah.
So it costs. But
you pay for the speed.
Yeah, I paid for the speed. But the thing is, I was throwing a lot of fluff in there. I remember once we got those battery chargers. And I remember I threw a whole fucking bucket of those and hella watches. They were like no brand.
I remember back in those days, you were telling me instead of listing like quantity 50, you would just list 50 listings.
Yeah, I was doing that. I was focused. That wasn't right. Yeah. I was so focused on the size of my store rather than making the most money with what I already had and saving money.
Yeah.
So I was sending Usman. Let's say if I had 50 of these remotes, I'd do 50 listings instead of just putting quantity 50. That wasn't good. Yeah, but I learned from that.
Yeah, because we did think it was going to help with the algorithm. I was doing that a little bit too.
It did. Yeah, I'm not going to hold you. It was doing something because I was just listing so much that eBay was just giving me traffic and shit was just selling.
But one thing I realized, I think when you make one listing and it has a high quantity, when it starts selling, eBay is gonna basically let's say
push that one up on.
Yeah, they're gonna push that one up in the algorithm, so people are gonna see it more because it's already selling.
Yeah.
It's already had success.
Yeah. So, eBay is gonna take care of you regardless.
Yeah.
Whether you put 50 or you put quantity 50. So, but it's better obviously just put quantity 50 if they're all in the same condition, the same item. But I say you try it out, dude, because if you trust Usman to list the items, because it's not even Usman anymore, bro. He's getting different people. Yeah, it's not Usman anymore. Yeah. So if you teach people how to list items the old-fashioned way, I think you could save a good chunk of money over time.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little experiment.
So, because how much is your overhead right now per week on employees with Usman and this guy? And
so
the other, because you have a couple people.
Yeah, Usman, I'm gonna say on average
5.
Let's say 400 a week on Usman. Another 450 for Alex, and then maybe 200 for Alan. So that's around 1,000.
1,000.
Yeah, around 1,100. So that's about 4,500 a month on that.
Yeah.
On the employee costs.
So 4,400. So Alex is taking care of shipping, right?
Alex does the shipping, and he does a lot of listings too, a lot of pictures.
So how many items do you think Alan and Alex could do?
I think that
50-50, they could do that in shipping.
Yeah. I think they could. I think I was because Alex only works 4 hours a night, but just recently he's trying to step it up. And just recently, I've been tracking exactly how many listings are going up every day. Because for a while, I was just sending it out, and then I try to get up 80 to 100 every day. But I wasn't tracking about how much we were sending and stuff, Yeah. Some days there's not items to be posted. Some days when I check my drafts, there's none there. So there's some days that aren't accounted for. So now I've been hella nailing down on exactly what's being done each day to make sure I'm paying the right amount.
Yeah.
Because I was getting a little lazy in managing my outgoing expenses, and that's been killing my profits a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, no, we got to be careful because making more money goes hand in hand with saving more money.
Yeah.
So that's been my thing. Right now, the only time my money goes out is when I buy items, and I'm giving this guy $350 a week, and that's it. And I'm just working a little harder, but I don't mind working a little harder to, save some money. At least right now. I'm about to do a big thing that's coming on YouTube that's going to save a ton of money, like in the grand scheme of things, for my personal expenses.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just comes, if you could save some money and just work a little harder sometimes, that's good. But if you're at the point where you could do it like that too, I say just try it out.
Yeah,
I like it. If you get fucking, because how many items are you shipping today? 40, 50?
Yeah, probably.
I'm doing the same.
Yeah.
And the sourcing is a little different. You work a little harder, a little differently.
Yeah.
But I could do it, and and I'm doing a lot more YouTube videos than you, and I'm editing these, and I just started another channel. So I think you guys enjoyed that clip of the Lowball Kingz podcast. Consider subscribing. We are uploading 30-minute segments every single Wednesday, and we are uploading clips on here every single week. If you guys want to listen to the full-length podcast, it is down below on the Patreon, and we're going to catch you guys later.